Justin, thanks for putting the flag up there. Appreciate it, everybody. Miss Jones, are you on?
I am on.
Good to hear your voice. If you could please call the roll, please.
Yes. Okay, Councilmember Bell.
Present.
Okay, now remember what you got to say.
Oh,
You got to tell me present that you're in the city of Dexter or the township or wherever.
I am present and I am in the city of Dexter.
Thank you. Councilmember Cousins.
I'm present and I'm at 7648 Forest in the city of Dexter.
Thank you. Councilmember Fisher. I see her.
Yes, I'm here in Dexter, Michigan.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Knight.
Here in the city of Dexter.
Council members, Michelle's.
Present, city of Dexter, state of Michigan.
Council member Smith.
Present in the city of Dexter, Michigan.
Student rep Alex Gilbert.
I'm present from Webster Township.
Good. Student rep Isabel Malik. And I hadn't seen her yet on the line. And Mayor Keogh.
Present, participating virtually from my home in Dexter, Michigan.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Paul, you asked for a minute or two?
Yes, first of all, I apologize to everyone for not being at the, I'm sure it was a wonderful reception to honor Courtney and have some time together there. What a beautiful day. And I just want to reflect some of the things that I was very proud to be involved with Courtney in that. And the community garden was one of them. She worked hard at to keep that going, and her efforts there with Faith in Action and her undying participation to push hard to get the Avalon housing project through. It would take me a long time to list all the other things, but those two really stuck out in my mind, and I told her that this afternoon. We had a nice phone conversation, and so that's it. I just want to say thank you. I'm sure all you said something up there, and when you had an opportunity to do that, and thanks, Courtney. Good luck. Glad you're going to be staying in town for a little while, and hope to see you in the hood, as I say.
Thanks, Paul. I appreciate that.
Thanks, Paul. Okay, item C on the agenda is approval of the meeting minutes. We have two sets, one from our special city council meeting on the 19th, and then our regular city council meeting on October 26th. Mr. Smith has his hand up. Jim?
Yes, I'll move both sets of minutes and I have some changes.
Okay, motion by Mr. Smith,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Knight. Thank you for that. Okay, Mr. Smith?
On page, this is October 19th minutes. On page 1 of the packet, approval of the agenda. I believe I made the motion to approve the agenda that evening.
Okay,
All right.
And then let's see, page 2, under communications, I think instead of saying council member report there, it should just say fire station visits. We weren't moving council member reports. We were just moving that particular document to communications.
That report, though, had more than just fire station.
This was for the 19th. I believe that was fire station only, I thought.
Nope,
Okay,
that's all that I spoke on, though. But the entire report was moved to section H.
okay. All right, and then page 13 under old business. Let's see. The original motion was I had made, and then there was a motion to postpone, which failed. And so when it came back to the original motion, I modified that, amended the original motion. And it was to have staff get more information on an agreement on renting the senior center space for meetings beginning in January 2021.
okay. Top of page 13 you're at?
Yeah. It's where this, says original motion,
Yep,
but that motion was modified.
yep, I think I agree with that. Ms. Knight, you made the second. You okay with those changes? Julie?
Sorry, I had to step away and get a tissue.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that. That's fine.
Okay, Jim, you may still have some more to go. I just was making sure we're following along.
Yes, that was all for the October 19th.
Okay,
Or actually, that was on the, I'm sorry, that was on the 26th, wasn't it?
Yes.
That one. I'd skipped ahead to that page. So yes, that was the only one from October 26th. Thank you.
okay. I see a blue hand over there. Alex, you have a question?
Yes, I do. So on the minutes for the special virtual city council meeting on October 19th, I'm listed as being present remotely from Dexter, Michigan. However, on the meeting on the 26th, I'm listed as being present remotely from Webster Township. I believe the one for the 19th should be amended to say Webster Township as well.
Okay,
We'll fix that. I didn't have all the information for everybody when we did the 19th. That was the new thing, but I'll fix that.
Thank you. I believe I said Dexter, Michigan on the first meeting.
Yeah,
So
and that's fine.
thank you.
okay. Other council comments? Carol, I just had one, there's two L's in Scott Manzel's name on page 1.
Yes, I knew that after I'd seen it too. I'll fix that too.
Okay, just pointing it out. Okay, do we have all comments on the minutes? Looks like we do. Okay, so we had a motion by Smith, second by Knight with the changes that, Carol, you've got. Please
Mhm.
call the vote. Please call the vote to approve both sets of minutes.
Just a minute, I lost my cheat. Oh, here it is, my cheat sheet here.
Okay,
Michelle,
Yes.
Knight,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Bell,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Cousins,
Yes.
Keo.
yes, thank you. The minutes are approved. We have no prearranged participation under item D this evening. So we're down to item E, approval of the agenda.
I'll move we approve the agenda as presented.
Thank you, Donna. Scott, I see your hand is up.
Second.
Okay, motion by Fisher, second by Bell to approve the agenda as presented. Any discussion by council? Okay, seeing none, Ms. Jones, if you could call the vote to approve the agenda, please.
Yes. Bell,
Yes.
Cousins,
Yes.
Michelle,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Knight,
Yes.
Keo.
Yes, thank you. Motion carries. Item F is a public hearing, and it is to discuss an ordinance approving the lease of property and a lease agreement with Hotel Hickman. So I would like to open the public hearing at 6:10, please. And I will take any public comment related to the lease agreement for 8050 Main, more commonly known as the property that Hotel Hickman leases from the city. Justin, help me if you see any blue hands or any hands. I don't see any. I will say that the city is required to pass an ordinance whenever we lease property. And this is our time to do so if we hope to do another renewal. So I'm not seeing any public speaking on this topic this evening or wanting to speak on this topic. So I will close the public hearing at 6:11. And we have an immediate consideration item if there is a council member that would like to make that motion.
I'll make the motion, Sean, that we agree to lease the property to Hotel Hickman. And I think it's all written there. I just gotta get my page turned here. Yes, on pages 19, 20, 21. With the signatures on 22 and the dates on 23.
Okay, so motion by Cousins. Scott, I see you have your hand up.
I'll second, except that page 23 doesn't have dates, it has rates. Did you say rates or dates, Paul?
I said dates, but I meant rates. Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
The fall did hurt my head.
Well, my hearing's not so good anymore.
Okay, so we have motion by Cousins, second by Bell. Discussion by council. Courtney, anything to add about your conversation with Scott?
No, he was happy with the extension, appreciates the the extension and not having a rate increase at this time. Obviously, all the restaurants are in tenuous positions.
Thanks for doing the research that I believe Councilmember Michelle's requested.
Hmm.
Appreciate that.
Zach has his hand up.
Oh, yeah, let me get there. Sorry, I was just making a comment back to Courtney. Okay, Zach, go ahead, please.
Yeah, thanks for that. It's good to see how we compare and see that we're not over or undercharging for it.
Yeah.
I just want to clarify with the motion makers that we're also the ordinance on page 18. Is that correct, part of the motion?
I believe it was. Did I not hear it correctly?
Yes, it was. I just going back to make sure that what he's saying. Yes.
Okay. I'm going to throw this out there since we're not increasing the rate. Would there be any interested in just doing this for a 1-year extension so that we can see what the economy is doing next year and whether or not there's value in reevaluating it sooner?
Well, I'll make a comment on it, Zach. Being in the business for 18 years, you have to look forward as well as what the present issues are. And, it's not going to change dramatically for restaurants and their ability to survive. They're one of the most vulnerable in this area during the COVID period of time. And I just think it'd be nice to have Scott and the staff say, hey, you know what? Thank you. And then we can say thank you by coming there and going there and trying to help out. Encourage people to go there. It's just it's not going to take any effort not to do that. But that's just my opinion.
All right. And I know 3 years ago, we talked about potentially bringing up the topic of sale of this property. Was there any discussion of that with Hotel Hickman folks?
Well, that would require a vote of the people now.
Put the words out of my mouth, Courtney.
So no, I mean, I did not bring that up to him, and now with that extra hurdle, yeah, I did not bring that up to him at this time. I didn't think he'd have the capital, honestly, to even consider it. And then with the charter amendment passing, there are more hoops.
All right. I just wanted to bring it up because I know we discussed it last time.
Yeah,
I'm all good with questions in.
Thanks, Zach. Are there other council members that have questions on this topic? Okay, I'm glad he wants to continue doing business, and I think we're fairly charging at this point, and any nominal increase that might occur isn't going to make or break. I think it's better to give him the certainty of the 2 years and show the support to the businesses as best we can. So,
Agree.
Ms. Jones, why don't you call the vote, please?
Okay. Fisher,
Yes.
Michelle's,
Yes.
Knight,
Yes.
Cousins,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Bell,
Yes.
Keo.
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Jones. Motion carries. The lease has been extended 2 years. I'll assume, Courtney, that you or Justin will follow up with him and get the changes made and the agreement signed.
Yep.
We're down to item G, which is non-arranged participation. This is the first of two opportunities on our agenda for people to speak on any topic. If you are calling in, you can use *9 on your mobile phone to also alert us of your desire to speak. Otherwise, please try to find the raise hand button in the bottom of the participant window. Is there anybody that wants to speak this evening? Okay, Justin, I don't think I'm missing anybody at this time. So I will keep going. We're down to item H. There were two communications in the packet, our upcoming meeting list and an email from resident Joe Semifero. Are there any comments, Mr. Smith?
No.
Jim, I see you have your hand up.
Yes. Once again, the times for the council meetings are showing 7 o'clock.
Yep, thank you. Mr. Bell.
I just wanted to point out that the Parks and Recreation Committee is having a special meeting tomorrow on the 10th. It's not listed here. As well as next week's meeting.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you, Justin.
And Scott, you will be attending both of those at this point?
Unless I'm told not to.
Yes, please. No, yes, please. Yes, please, and thank you. I just was double checking.
No, that's my plan, Sean.
Okay, good, great.
Yep.
Great. Okay, seeing no further comments on.
Well,
hands up.
I'll jump in there. Just
Oh, sorry,
for,
Zach.
for our clerk, this communication from Mr. Semifero is the only one that qualifies under the questions. Any communication I've had from anyone from Westridge.
Oh, thank you. Much appreciated.
Okay. All right. Any further comments? Did I miss anybody? Okay, we'll move to our first report this evening from our Public Services Superintendent. Dan, how are you doing?
Good evening, everybody. Hopefully
Good
I've got
evening.
a little bit of time to go outside before the council meeting. I provide you with a 2-week report, written report, and then also I have 2 items I'd like to go over with council. The first item is the crosswalk at Ann Arbor and Edison that runs across Ann Arbor Street. On that crosswalk, we have 2 bands on the outside of the actual walkway. And on the one side closest to Edison, they have both dropped approximately an inch. We have 2 residents there that have concerns when big trucks go over it vibrates their house. I've been working with OHM. I had Chris Donikowski go up and just give me a ballpark figure on what it would cost to fix that. It came in around $12,000. I haven't been able to go up there with him and go over it in detail. Like I said, one side of it looks like it's dropped out. The other side looks like it's holding up. A few months ago, Kurt went up there with our guys that pump the sidewalks up. If we have a tow catch, he'll pump the one side up to get rid of it instead of removing the concrete. That was unsuccessful in trying to make that repair. I'm also talking to Kurt, trying to figure out if we can come up with a temporary repair to kind of smooth that out. Right now, leaf season is on the priority list right now, but I'm hoping sometime this week we can go up and look at it, maybe stick some asphalt in there. We're going to have to do a total road closure on that when we do make that repair, if we are going to replace both bands all the way across, if that's what we have to do. I don't know if you guys have time, if you want to walk up and look at that, but that's something in the near future we're going to have to try to take care of.
Give us that address again for me, Dan, please.
It's Edison and Ann Arbor, where the crosswalk goes across Ann Arbor Street.
Gotcha.
So Dan, we've had to repair some of those bands in the past, and it usually involves closing down the lane, or is it all the way across or just half? Tell me again.
I think it's just half, but I haven't been able to, I just got this late last week, and I haven't been able to go up with Chris and meet on exactly what he's thinking, if we need to replace the whole thing but I just wanted to make you guys aware of what we have right now, and I'm going to try to go through the process and bring it back to you. But right now, the way it looks to me, it's just one half on Edison's side, both sides of the crosswalk. And if you stand up there, you can definitely, it makes a pretty loud noise just with the cars alone, and you can feel the vibration.
Okay.
So I'm thinking that if we could wait and do something temporary, it'd probably be better to do it in the summer. You know, I don't know how many school buses are running up and down there, and I know school is in full session, but to do a complete road closure, I think we're going to have a lot of barricades and a lot of signage as part of that, if we've got to do the whole thing.
Okay, well, you're developing a plan. You'll keep us informed, right?
Yep, absolutely. And then the second item I have, we came in this morning down at the wastewater treatment plant, and our methane gas boiler had water leaking out of the bottom of it. I don't know what time it shut off. It's got a switch. Once it loses pressure, it shuts itself off. So we let it cool down for a few hours. We took the side panel off. We looked inside. There's approximately 40 1-inch tubes in there, which circulates the water through. One of those has a crack in it. We do have 2 boilers at the wastewater treatment plant. For this reason, if something happens to the one, we can switch over to the natural gas one that we have. Obviously, this one, we put these 2 boilers in 2013. We try to use the methane boiler the majority of the time, just for the savings of the natural gas. We've contacted the manufacturer of the unit. They're going to get back with us when they can send somebody over to give a quote on to repair that 1-inch copper tubing, or what we got to do. And our wastewater lead operator, Eric, is looking at other contractors to come in. So we have additional quotes as we go forward.
Okay.
So there'll be more on that in hopefully the next council meeting. I'll have some more details on that. That's the 2 items I had for you. Is there any questions on my report?
I didn't have any. Were there any from any other council members? Am I missing a hand? Zach, go ahead, please.
I just want to check and make sure the leaf fella is behaving better now after that hydraulic adventure he had on Dover.
Yes. Yep. Everything seems to be going fine, except we have a lot of leaves down right now. Trying to keep up, but they're doing a really good job.
And it's really important for people not to put things besides leaves in their leaf pile, like pumpkins.
Well, not only pumpkins, they had cement blocks, like landscaping blocks. It was in a pile on one of our streets. And luckily, Mr. Gross, when he went over top of the leaves, he was able to identify that, because the pumpkins and any kind of debris like that, it will put that machine down for the year. So hopefully the residents will keep that kind of stuff out of their leaf piles.
Well, thanks to the crew.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Dan. I'm going to move on to our community development manager report. Michelle, are you with us this evening?
You're muted.
Thanks, Justin. Hi, Sean. Hi, council. How are you doing this evening?
Hi, Michelle.
Very good.
Thank you.
Oh, hey, that was a great response. Everybody must still be liking this weather, so enjoy it for at least one more day. I know I will. Okay, you've got my report in front of you, and before I go through it and give you the verbal updates on top of it, do you have any questions for me?
Was there any problem with the schedule that was presented?
Schedule?
Yeah, the one that you included the plan for the plan on the.
For the zoning ordinance subcommittee?
Yeah, was there any thoughts or discussion on whether that's okay, or just that That's what's gonna be.
Planning Commission, like the description, they were fine with the, with the schedule as it's been presented. They do want to know if there's a city council person and or a ZBA person who would like to participate as well. This is going to be quite a comprehensive update, and everybody staying in, up to date as we go through is really important to this not becoming an obstacle or a burden for council at the end. So you don't have to tell me right now, excuse me, but if you all could think about it, and if there is somebody who would like from council to participate, Planning Commission would love to have you. We also need to do, excuse me, a joint work session. We're looking at either not the 21st. I don't think it's the 21st of December. Hang on just a second.
Yeah, that's what it's showing on the schedule.
Yep, I'm sorry, it is December 21st. As long as, excuse me, I'm so sorry. We're looking at that date. Hopefully, we'll be able to do the joint education. That also happens to be the date of the ZBA meeting, regularly scheduled. And they are having a meeting in November. And per their bylaws that they've adopted, they have a meeting the next month to approve minutes. So we may have to work on maybe a different time for the ZBA if they have no cases, but it's just minutes. But if we can work all those things out, would the 21st work for members of council?
Well, that's why I asked the question. I mean, that's like the week of Christmas. And I just wondered if there were any other people that thought that was a odd day for a joint meeting, but
If that doesn't work, we can push it into January after the first of the year. We just need the feedback from y'all.
Yes, January.
Push it.
that was gonna be my suggestion. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, we'll figure a day for that, and the only thing with doing that is we'll be most likely back to in-person meetings, and it might be a little harder to schedule those.
Fair comment.
So think about it. Give me any feedback you guys have, okay? The other meeting I'm trying to schedule is we still need to do that hour and a half joint educational workshop with Doug Weber on the small cell 5G. And again, if we could do that before January when we all have to be in person, it might be a lot easier. So think about it, let me know. Excuse me. Planning Commission's gonna, did somebody have a question?
Donna has her hand up. I was just letting her finish. Go ahead, Donna.
In light of what you just said, I think you should go ahead and try for the 21st, and I'll try for the 21st. And if I can't do it, I can't do it. But I think you should go ahead and schedule those meetings that are difficult to get together. Okay? I've changed
for the
my
input.
mind. Yep, good. Thank you.
Okay. Did you want to say something, Sean?
No, I saw blue hands popping up and it's still Donna. That's good. We're good.
All right. Planning Commission's going to have 2 public hearings. Excuse me. One to take outdoor seating areas out of special land use. That's something I think you'll recall City Attorney had recommended a couple of years ago when Aubrey's came through for their outdoor seating amendment to their special land use. And then the second one is going to be for those commercial kennels that Mike talked to you about, or not Mike, I'm sorry. Were in my report last meeting. Excuse me. The changes to the code are in my report. If you've got any feedback, let me know. This really is to clear up some conflict between language in the code and language in the zoning ordinance. So the zoning ordinance will have a small little tweak, and the general code gets a small little tweak, and then everybody's playing well in the sandbox. Main Street looks slightly different. We have some pretty white tents up, and the businesses have been able to take advantage of the beautiful weather we've had these last couple of weeks since Halloween. Erratic Ales also has taken advantage of having a tent up, although their first tent, although secured, did suffer some wind damage that weekend after, I believe it was after Halloween, and they'll be getting a new tent. Does anybody have any questions on that? Otherwise, I'm going to go right into some verbal updates. Okay, so I received an email request from Mike Penn. You know that he does some residential, some real estate in town. And he has a client that has a home at 7520 Ann Arbor Street. That's 2 houses off the corner of Ann Arbor and Kensington. And that owner, or that potential owner, wanted to know if it was possible to have access from the alley that exists behind that property. That alley currently is no longer maintained for access. When the Blue Water building was done and the improvements to Kensington Street there, the approach to the alley was removed. What I have told Mike is that there is still a possibility that somebody could use that alley for access to their property, but there would be a cost involved for that potential homeowner, because there would have to be the new approach, and there would have to be gravel put down in the alley. And then there'd have to be some conversation that the city would have to have, myself, with those residents that abut the alley, because you know, people have moved some stuff and they do take care of it. So just wanted to share that with you. And if you've got any input for me on that, just let me know. Excuse me. They could not put a second driveway on Ann Arbor Street to serve that home. 1, there's a fire hydrant. 2, there's a rapid flashing beacon. And 3rd, there is an existing water lead. And the 4th thing is, the reason that there's only 1 driveway there now, after the park was created, it was the only way to get the access to the 2 properties, the one that Chet Hill lives in, and then this one at 7520. So I haven't heard anything back from Mr. Penn, but if there is, I'll let you know. I did get an inquiry about mini storage for the former Adair property. Currently, we don't have any use that would be mini storage, so it wouldn't really fit with the master plan. It certainly doesn't fit with the zoning ordinance currently, but if that was something that the inquirer wanted to pursue, my suggestion would be to the Planning Commission and to this this potential applicant to go through the Section 307 review process. At your last meeting, excuse me, when we talked about the Christmas tree, which, by the way, Kurt and I went out last Friday, and Kurt picked out a beautiful tree. I think you're going to like it when it's put up in the park and when DPW gets the lights on it. But when we talked about it last month, Alex, our student rep, asked if the council would consider including other, I'll use the word symbols or whatever, so that people felt that there was more diversity and inclusiveness. So Alex and I have connected, and if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to turn it over to Alex so he can tell you what he's doing to bring the information forward to you on what are some ways that you could consider.
Sure. And so I've reached out to about 8 groups in the surrounding communities from a number of diverse backgrounds. And so right now, my main hope is to gather a lot of information so that we can make an educated decision about what we can do this year and in the years following about decorations all throughout the city. A major theme that I have found in my personal research is that a really great way to promote diversity and belonging is to encourage people to put up decorations that are meaningful to them. And so that way you can cover a wider variety of backgrounds and people can feel encouraged and connected to their community. I'm still waiting to hear back from the groups that I've reached out to, but I hope to have more soon.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Alex.
Mhm.
And that pretty much concludes my report unless you have any other questions, comments for me.
Can you answer the question of what's happened with Noble Appliance? I thought it was originally the middle of October. I get a lot of questions about that.
They have not finished the stuff that they wanted to do yet, but I will follow up with them and find out what's going on. They have put up their sign.
Yeah.
But other than that, they have not called for final zoning compliance or their certificate of occupancy yet. So, but I will follow up, Paul.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. Any other questions for Michelle? We flip over, Zach does not have his hand up. Okay, thank you, Michelle, again, appreciate it. I'm gonna move down to I3. Zach, do you want to make any comments on the written report that you included for Cap Dart?
Not for Cap Dart. We did have a meeting that's going to be coming up. One of the nice things with the Zoom is that we're able to bring in folks from other places to speak with us. We had some folks with SEMCOG talk about community engagement at this last one. And following this election, we're going to be reaching out to some of the communities that haven't been actively participating. Dexter Township, we haven't seen anyone from there for about 2 years now. Scioto Township hasn't been very active, so we're going to be reaching out to them. We're also going to try to get some of the folks from the Manchester area, Freedom Township, the village, and the townships around there to participate as well. That's all I've got.
Okay. Thank you for providing that information. Questions for Zach? Okay, I'll cruise down unless somebody has a comment on anything that's not bolded there. Turn it over to our city manager for her last report.
Our report was a little bit shorter just because the election took up a lot of our time. Obviously, had an 85% turnout, which was a record for the city. So you can see the breakout of absentee, but there were still quite a few in-person voters. Things went very smoothly. We got down to the county in a nice, decent hour. So we want to really thank everybody that helped doing anything with the election. Everything, went really well here. I included the PACER rating update just so council has that. I also included, because I don't think I provided in a while, all the road work that we've done since 2015. That does not include crack sealing because that's just kind of all over the place. But that's a good representation of all the work. I mean, you can see we've almost done something on every street, or have, if you include what we have planned to do still. So I think that's important to kind of keep track of. The invoice cloud system went live today. So people that pay online will now be, or pay with credit card will now be going through invoice cloud instead of point and pay. So far that's been smooth. More information about that will go out with the utility bills and the tax bills and email updates, mailings, etc. over the next few months. On the next agenda, I just wanted to give you a little bit of a heads up. We're hoping to have the scope for the 2nd Street sidewalk and water main design That's something that was budgeted. We had originally hoped to do that project in 2021, summer 2021. I don't think the funds will be there to do that in the water, on the water side. It was supposed to be a water main project and sidewalk project, but we still want to move forward with the design so that it's ready to go. And OHM suggested that we also look at the road design at the same time so that we're designing it more comprehensively. So there will be some cost for the potential for topo for the whole thing so that, you know, we're designing everything and it all makes sense in the end. There's also going to be some sewer lead investigation. So it'll probably be, I mean, it'll be a really good future project. So that should hopefully make the next agenda. And then also OHM has provided the quit claim deed for the right of way on Meadowview and Dexter and Arbor. If you recall, there was some cleanup that needed to be done on that parcel. So we just wanted to dedicate the right of way that should have been dedicated as right of way so that it's clean moving forward. Scott Munzel's currently reviewing that. Final thing is we've been in conversation about the luminary and how to keep that going despite the pandemic. So we've been working with the unofficial group that coordinates the luminaries to try to figure out if, you know, if we do multiple dates, multiple shifts. So once that gets decided, we'll put out information and requests for volunteers and funds. I think that's it as far as updates go.
Have you cleaned your desk?
Yeah, it's very clean. I cleaned it better than Donna did. She just up and left. Actually went through the drawers and stuff. So yeah, I think I spent a lot of time on passwords and accounts and, you know, making sure people have access so that, you know, there shouldn't be too many issues. I think they should be in good shape.
Your bank account?
Well, Marie's really on the bank accounts more, but, you know, just things like unemployment and Concentra, you know, just all the random things. The state signing documents with the state takes multiple steps, filing permits, that kind of stuff. So
You didn't hear my question. Your bank account.
oh, my bank account? Yeah, I did not give them access to that. Thank you.
Good, thank you.
I made sure
I
to
think
get
she
rid
is
of all
leaving the
the saved
marbles, though.
passwords. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to just say thank you again to you, Courtney. Jim's background says it all today. If you're looking at him online there, we can get him to move out of the way for a second there. Lean over. There you go. You can lean back. But thanks for 13 good years, Courtney. And it was pretty special to see everybody come for the period of time that I was able to make the event yesterday and to say goodbye to you, and quite a tribute. You've left a nice legacy and a great team, still carrying on what your leadership has showed. So, Jim, you have your hand up?
Yeah, I just had one question on Courtney's report. You commented about the paper of record and some of the continuing problems.
Yeah.
I imagine at some point in time, we could always consider switching back to the Sun Times.
Right. We talked about that. So I assumed when we switched to MLive, it would be a bigger paper and it would be, you know, really organized. It just really hasn't been that way. We've had deadlines get missed and things. It's been frustrating. So I think the Sun Times could be an option. I just kind of wanted to see if it was going to stay consistent because, you know, it's tough to be moving it back and forth. But if they're going to be in publication for a while, then yeah, I mean, if they're going back to mailing it, I think I've gotten it a few times at my house now. So, you know, that would be optimal. I just didn't want to switch until I felt comfortable that,
Right.
you know, it was going to keep going.
Yeah, maybe Justin can revisit that after the first of the year.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jim, I didn't know you still had a question.
No. There.
Okay.
I saw Zach's hand up there.
Zach, you're next, sir.
First, huge congratulations to everyone involved in that election. That was beautifully done. So Clerk Breyer, I looking at the size of that ballot, I'm so happy I did not have to be part of that accuracy testing. I imagine they're still doing that now somewhere. That was very impressive. It was very nice to see us pop up at the very front there. So good work for that. It's a tough year. And then on the Paiser ratings, are we doing that or is OHM doing that for us?
OHM did that for us this time because just with timing, and it's so quick for him to just do it. And it's actually the same person that did it in 08, ironically. So he came back to work at OHM. So it's been pretty consistent over the years that he's done it. And it really only takes him like less than a half a day to knock it out. So.
Okay. If I'll throw this out there, if we do get extra staff time in the future, that'd be something nice for us to be able to get our folks trained up on.
Yeah.
One other communication tool, the spreadsheet for all the projects we've done is very helpful. I think it'd be even a better tool if it were as a map. And I don't know what that map would look like, but somewhere so people can see all these streets lit up with things that we've done on them would be very, very easy to see that we're
That
paying
sounds
this.
like an excellent job for Mike.
Yeah.
He's an excellent map maker.
Right.
I can
All right,
still
Mike.
delegate things till the meeting ends.
Delegating.
Yeah.
I'm all set. Thank you.
Thank you. Last questions for Courtney under her report? Good luck in your new job tomorrow, Courtney.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
I just have a couple business items and then I have a couple proclamations that I'd like to read. Over the last couple of weeks, we have had some success talking with our friends at the firefighter union. And we had two long meetings, but I think we have a tentative agreement that's going to be brought to our board or our DAFD fire board there next Thursday when we meet. So the good news is we've been able to get through the document and pretty timely, and we can keep that going. So I think everybody's okay with it, and I'll let you know what the fire board does. We're going to be welcoming some new members there.
Yeah.
With the turnover in Dexter Township, I expect there'll be at least 2 new members on the fire board. So, and then Jim, I'm expecting Jim Smith will cover this next meeting for us until we have our organizational matters meeting here in the near future, and pick our new representatives of various boards. So I'd like to congratulate all of the new council members that got elected this past Tuesday, and look forward to working with all of them. I do have 2 proclamations for 2 very fine city council members that are not going to be continuing on after this meeting, so to speak. I dropped off the hard copy of this in a frame, thanks to our staff for putting that together. I dropped off those to each of them this afternoon, and I just wanted to read them both. The first is to Scott Bell. I won't make you stand, Scott. But it says City of Dexter Proclamation, November 9th, 2020. Whereas Scott Bell has been a resident in the village/city of Dexter since 2002. And whereas Scott previously served on the village/city planning commission from April of 2004 to December 2013, and then again from November of 2017 to October of 2018. And whereas upon becoming aware of a vacancy on council in October 2018, Scott submitted his name for consideration to fill the council vacancy. And whereas Scott was unanimously appointed to serve as the City of Dexter council member in November of 18 to fill said vacancy. And whereas Council Member Bell, along with his service on City Council, has participated as the council representative on the city's Park and Recreation Commission. Now therefore be it resolved that the Dexter City Council does hereby proclaim its thanks and appreciation to Scott for his years of service to the citizens of Dexter and his participation as a Dexter City Council member. Scott, thanks a lot for stepping up when we needed to fill a void and for your dedication and participation over these last couple of years.
Thank you very much, Sean. Appreciate it.
Next up, and certainly not second, Jim Smith. Another City of Dexter proclamation, also dated November 9th, 2020. Whereas Jim Smith was first appointed to serve on the Village of Dexter in 2007. Actually, I think there's one that goes way back 30 years before that, but we didn't mention that, as a trustee. And then was elected to serve as village trustee from November 2008 to November 2012. And again, as city council member from November 14th here to November of 2020. Whereas Council Member Smith, along with his service on the village/city council, has also participated in and/or led several council committees, including facilities, website committee, and economic preparedness. Whereas Council Member Smith has also served as the city council representative to the Planning Commission and the Dexter Area Fire Board. Whereas Council Member Smith has further demonstrated his commitment to the community through active participation with the Dexter Area Historical Society and Dexter Community Schools Alumni Association. Now therefore be it resolved that the Dexter City Council does hereby proclaim its thanks and appreciation to Jim Smith for his years of service to the citizens of Dexter. Jim, I probably left some stuff out. I think you've been on the Streets Committee too, although I don't know that we ever met very much. But thanks again for all you've done over the years, and stay in touch. Thank you.
I'd just throw in the Charter Commission.
Charter Commission. I was just thinking that too. Yeah, Charter.
Oh
Commission.
yeah, that
one.
little document, huh?
Right, that little one.
It's a tiny one.
See, you wouldn't have the city without it.
We
I'll
need a
have to-
bigger piece of paper, I guess.
Yeah, I'll have to reprint this.
Right.
Thank you very
frame.
much. Thank you.
Thank you both. That's really the highlight of my report. Just so everybody's aware, my intention is to try to set up an organizational matters meeting virtually here in the next few days to try and get some conversation going so that when the new council is sworn in, we can do that, within a short time thereafter. I believe that our interim city manager, Justin, is going to be reaching out to the two new elected members of council, Jamie Griffin and Juan Hubbard. And we'll be asking them to stop by city offices to do the official swearing in ceremony so that they can sign their cards officially before the first meeting. So at next meeting, we will do a swearing in online because it's kind of a special event that the public should see or get a chance to see. But we do need them to sign those cards. So what do you call the cards, Justin or Courtney?
Their oath of office.
Yeah, the oath of office. Thank you. Thank you. So anyway, council, you might be copied on an email from Justin related to that process and stuff, but I wanted to just give you a heads up that that's kind of our intention and our plan going forward. Does anybody have any questions for me on anything? Okay. We are down to council member report. Zach Michelle's.
Yep, I'll just do the quick version. Unfortunately, as I visit these fire stations, I'm getting better and better about asking questions. So I'm getting more and more details from the folks. A couple of things stood out from the Oxford Township or the Oxford Fire Department. It covers both the city and the township of Oxford or village of Oxford. They're similar to Dexter Area Fire Department, that they're a hybrid. A couple of neat things. I got to speak with, I think it was a captain who was very energetic about it. And he brought to my attention a lot of little details that you need folks who are living in and using these spaces to come up with, like how the lights are zoned in the living quarters, how if people are reading at the table, they want the lights on, and that completely destroys the television area, and that the trash can is in a really awkward space because they didn't plan for that. A really neat thing that I saw there, which a couple of other places had talked about, was a really large dry erase map of the area. So there's a major construction on M24 in that area that closures change every day or every other day. And so with the dry erase board, they're able to put that right on there immediately so you can see what's going on, what's not going on. One other detail that I really liked from hearing from them is they too have 3 shifts. And in order to keep the folks out of each other's business, they have 3 separate fridges and 3 separate pantry spaces, which seems kind of a bit overkill, but you get to keep your stuff separate from every other person's stuff. And it seemed to be very harmony inducing. One fun thing I saw is they had a patio out back. And this seems like a tension that kind of happens in a lot of places, is that they wanted to create environment and activities for firefighters to be there more often outside of when they're on duty or for training. So they actually had a basketball court out back that they would play. You know, the staff liked it because they got to do physical exercise that wasn't as boring as sitting at the gym, and they got to hang out and do those types of things. Administration didn't like that because they're worried about injuries, and also that people might get upset that here are your firefighters on duty just playing around out back. But they pointed out that having staff there those extra times helps you spool up when you do get a call, because you've got the on-duty people there and you've got 5 or 6 other people there playing basketball or playing horseshoes who are ready to go. So that was kind of neat to see how a couple other places talked about that, and here they're trying to implement it. I did include information on the city manager search, and I do still have concerns. It feels very ad hoc. We haven't talked as a group about the candidate that we want, the qualities. We basically just have a job description. And like I mentioned, if you list a house wrong, it's going to cause problems for a long, long time to fix up. If you go look at our posting now, I believe Village of Elk Rapids or City of Elk Rapids and City of Charlotte both have manager positions, and our posting doesn't show as favorably as I think it ought to compared to those. And with that, I'm done. Thank you.
Thanks, Zach. I tried to read a lot of what you sent. I found the do's and don'ts, and I think it was Appendix F or G or whatever. Interesting reading. So thanks for including that. I figure we'll get into more discussion, with the next seated council and such. So, but at least we have started the process, and people know that we're looking. So, okay. So are we down to consent agenda, or did anybody else have a comment or question for Zach? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to trump moving forward there. Donna, I see your hand up.
No, not a question. I'm ready to go with.
Oh, go ahead then, please.
Go ahead. I move we approve the 3 items listed on the consent agenda, bills and payroll in the amount of $137,912.82, the appointment of Dan Schloff to the Watts Technical Committee, and the amendment to the MERS Healthcare Savings Program Participation Agreement.
Moved by Ms. Fisher. Jim, I see you have your hand up.
Yes, I'll support the motion.
Second by Mr. Smith. Thank you. Ms. Jones, if you could please call the vote on the 3 items on the consent agenda.
Yes. Smith,
Yes.
Michelle,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Val,
Yes.
Knight,
Yes.
Cousins,
Yes.
Keel.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, motion carries. The consent agenda has been approved. We are down to old business item, K1, which was postponed from our special meeting on October 19th. Jim, you have your hand up?
Yes, what I'd like to do is make the motion, but with the amendment to reference the text amendments as presented in the November 9th, 2020 council meeting packet.
Second.
Okay. Was that second by Zach?
Yep.
Okay, motion by Smith, second by Zach. Michelle, you want to comment, or Mike?
Mike should be the one that presents this, please.
Okay, happy to let him do it.
Sure. So the only updates are the section reference corrections that were identified last time. I'll be happy to take any questions anyone has.
Okay, I think we got them as correct as we can with the number of eyes looking at it. So I appreciate everybody doing that. Any further comments by council? Okay, Ms. Jones, please call the vote.
Yes. Knight,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Bell,
Yes.
Michelle,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Cousins,
Yes.
Keo.
Yes. Thank you to everyone who worked hard on that process, to those in the planning commission as well, and to our staff, Mike, Michelle, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That takes us through old business and into new business. We have two items of new business. The first one is consideration of, excuse me, a lease agreement with Encore Theater for meeting space. Do I see a hand anywhere, or Jim Smith has his hand up?
Yes, I'll make a motion to approve the lease agreement with the Encore Theater for space at the senior center.
Okay, the next hand up is Ms. Fisher.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion by Smith, second by Ms. Fisher. Any discussion, or Courtney, you want to bring us up to speed?
Yeah, Michelle had been communicating with Dan Cooney on this. She did get a hold of him today. He said that their board had not formally approved it, but that he felt like it was likely to be approved. So if council does have any changes, that would be now would be a good time, because we can make sure that his board gets kind of a final copy. Jim had mentioned snow removal, and I don't know, Justin, if you want to add this in here. I mean, I'm assuming we would be responsible for snow removal if it happened right before a meeting, which was honestly true with the schools too.
Yeah, I feel like
where
we
would,
used to do that anyway.
yeah, where we would have the guys. So I don't know if it's worth mentioning in there. And Jim, you had one other, the parking lot lights, which I believe we now know how to turn on after election day. So, you guys can, I don't know that it's as necessary to include those, but they're good points to make that, those are two issues that we've had. So I think we'll be responsible for both.
Yeah, along with snow removal, I had ice melting and prevention, because sometimes
the guys would likely need to salt, and they'll know when our meetings are, but coordinating that with whoever's doing Encore snow seems highly unlikely. So
okay.
Now we own the distribution. We own the rights to buy.
Hello, is somebody trying to talk? Okay.
I think it was background noise.
Yeah, okay, thanks, Justin, for cleaning that up. I just had a little static on my end. Council discussion on the agreement or the draft agreement, I should say, that's on page 70, 280 there, 281.
Zach has his hand up.
Oh, okay, Zach, please.
I have a couple questions for the available hours. Is that going to be sufficient for the zoning ordinance committee to meet before meetings?
Michelle?
Yes, if it's 5 o'clock, our planning commission meetings aren't until 7. We haven't changed our meeting time, so.
Okay. I do think the snow and ice is important to include in here because it's a liability issue, both for us and for them. Actually, if I were them, I would really want to have it in there, because if someone trips and falls without any special clause, that's going to be in here. It would likely end up litigated somewhere. So as I read this, if we get another space before the termination of this in June, all we have to do is give them 2 days notice before a meeting, and we don't have to pay for it. Is that correct?
that was the way that we had it structured. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions, Zach? I see Jim Smith has a hand up yet.
Yep. I support it in concept with that flexibility. I would like to see some language for that snow liability in there, both for us and for them, before voting affirmatively for it.
Okay, well, I think we could ask our staff to incorporate that in as part of the motion, maybe. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I'm not sure anybody will, really.
I'll agree with that.
Donna, are you okay if we
I'm good. Yes,
vote
yes,
to approve it with, give
Yes.
staff the
Yes.
ability to work through that language?
yes.
I got one more question.
Go ahead, Jim, floor is still yours.
I wanted to ask Michelle, for the zoning ordinance subcommittee from the planning commission, will they be meeting there too? And do we have an idea what nights they will be meeting?
It has not been, excuse me, determined definitively, but one of the things that Megan said that could be helpful is if the committee met before the planning commission meeting, and with that information fresh on everybody's mind, be able to provide the update to the planning commission at the same time, or at the meeting right after.
Okay.
So right now, I'm looking at Mondays, but before the planning commission meeting.
Would there, even after, we get to January and we have public meetings again, can a subcommittee meet on Zoom meetings instead? Do they have that option?
I can
believe so.
check it out. The subcommittee,
I don't know if that's.
they won't have, what's the word I'm looking for?
You're not gonna have a quorum?
Quorum.
Right, it won't be a quorum. They don't have any they won't be making any decisions on money, and they won't be making any decisions on regulations or code. They will be making recommendations, but it may be a possibility that we might be able to do that, and I can look into that.
Yeah, I thought, just keep that in mind.
Mr. Bell?
Thanks. It's a very minor point, but it's a pet peeve. There shouldn't be an apostrophe in Mondays under the use section. It drives me crazy.
Well, let's not drive him crazy. He's leaving, so let's get it corrected.
Yeah, let's end on a good note, please.
Yeah.
If someone
Thanks,
could
Scott.
remove the apostrophe, I'll sleep easier at night.
Gotcha. Thanks for catching that. Other council comments? All right, so I believe we have a motion by Smith, second by Fisher, to approve the draft agreement with the addition to allow, staff to incorporate some language or recommend some language related to responsibilities for snow and ice removal. Ms. Jones, please call the vote.
Yes.
Thank you.
Cousins,
Yes.
Knight,
Yes.
Bell,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Michelle,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Keo.
Yes. Thank you. Motion carries. Down to new business item L2, which is just more informational at this point, or potential discussion if council wants to have a discussion. Included a memo with the help of our city manager and finance director related to some questions that had been talked about related to the, keeping names of applicants, anonymous or out of the public during the process. Thought that there was some good information provided. I won't read it back to you. But, we can clearly do that as part of an open process, right up until the time in which, we get down to a selection, or a public interview. And I'm recommending that we put together a city manager hiring committee. I think we should talk about that as a new council and decide, how to go about doing that. In talking through with our human resources attorney, Mel, how do you say his last name, Courtney?
Moskovitz?
Muskovitz, we can We can certainly keep all of council aware of who the applicants are. There's a way to communicate that it's understood as part of this process. We can't make any decisions in closed session or do any of that stuff, but we could certainly meet as a committee. We can do interviewing as a committee. Anyway, I just wanted to share the information that we found based upon the questions, the good questions that were brought back and the concerns about the process. And look forward to working through all of that, at a future meeting. So wanted to get the information out there. Assume you've all read it. And if there's any questions on it, I'm happy to talk about it, as short or as long as anybody wants to. It is a very important process that, I think we can do very well. So are there questions for me on this or anything that's in the memo? Okay, that's okay. That's good then. That means we are down to council comments. And I will let me look over my little participant window here. I'll start with Alex.
Thank you. Yes, I do have a comment. I just wanted to wish Ms. Nichols, Mr. Bell, and Mr. Smith all the best in their next adventures. It's been a really pleasurable experience to be on the city council. I think that many of the things that Mr. Bell says in our meetings give me a lot to think about. And I think that he provides very well thought out responses to everything. And I really find that admirable. And then I also remember when I first got involved with the city, Mrs. Aniel took me a tour around the office and I met Mrs. Nichols, and it was a very nice day, and I'm sad to see her go, but I'm sure she's going to do great things in other places, wherever she is. And Mr. Smith, he was on the planning commission with me as well, and he was always very helpful. I remember one time we were going over the elevations for Avalon, and we talked about it, and it's just very sad to see everyone go, but the world's a small place, so I hope that one day our paths will cross and we'll be able to work again in the future together.
Very
Thank
nice.
you, Alex.
Well said. Did Bella join us?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I was at soccer practice and I forgot to say I'd be late.
No problem. Welcome. How about if I let you go next? Do you have anything you want to say?
Yeah, so I also wanted to talk about Mr. Smith and Mrs. Nichols. Like, I've known them for about 2 years or the time I've been on council, and it's been very fun knowing them. I remember talking to Miss Nichols about like city council and how it worked, and she taught me about it when I first came, similar to Alex. It's been really fun. They both put in a tremendous amount of effort into the city council, so it's been nice getting to know them and see how it all works through them, and I wish them the best in their next adventures and stuff like that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paula.
Okay, Ms. Fisher?
Yeah, I want to congratulate all those elected. And at the same time, oh, this is always hard for me. I want both Jim and Scott to know how much I appreciate your honesty, the way you deal with all of us. You're straightforward. You can be counted on, and I really appreciated that. So thank you.
Thank you, Donna.
Thanks, Donna. Zach?
I'm going to start out by saying congratulations to Dexter football on the first playoff win in program history, and also to Dexter field hockey for winning back-to-back state championships. One of the things that I talked about with a couple of the Board of Education candidates out there is potential for us to do some sort of resolution to win the folks at the schools who do something tremendous like that, whether it be sports or robots or something like that. I know Board of Education does it, but we're a small community and it's good to embrace that and give that recognition to folks doing good things out there. That's all I've got.
Thanks, Zach. Good feedback. Ms. Knight?
Yes, I just want to say again, we're going to really miss you, Courtney, and I'm sure you're going to miss that small cubicle of an office that you have here. So Thank you so much
Julie.
for everything, and congrats to all the newly elected officials.
Mr. Cousins?
I wanted to, well, I mentioned what about Courtney already, but Jim, over the years, appreciate your being a citizen for your lifetime here in the city, Philly City. And Scott, I don't know how Sean conned you into saying there's just going to be 2 meetings a month, because there's never 2 meetings a month. Okay, so anybody out there that thinks that's going to happen, you're crazy. But thanks for participating. It takes a lot of effort. And a lot of people in this community don't know that it takes a lot of effort. You've got a lot of extra meetings besides just meeting twice a month. Thank you so much, and your wisdom as well.
Thank you, Paul.
Mr. Bell?
Yeah, well, I want to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to be with you the last couple of years. It's been a great experience. I've learned a lot. And it's always a privilege to contribute time and effort to the community. So I'll be around. I won't be a stranger, and I'll still be looking for opportunities to help out where I can in the community. So if anything comes up, maybe I'll put my hat in the ring. And Courtney, best of luck to you. I think you've done a fabulous job. At times sitting in these meetings, I don't know how you can do it. I don't know how you kept your sanity sometimes, but you are a very talented person, and you'll do great things. So thank you.
Scott. Thank you.
That's all.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
Last but not least, Mr. Smith.
Okay, I'm gonna keep it fairly brief tonight. Just wondering if anybody knows who my mystery fan is, who decided to help themselves to a souvenir of one of my election signs that was posted up by St. Andrews for the election day. If you know them, have them get a hold of me. I'll autograph the sign for them.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's been a lot of great years being involved in the city. Really glad to get to know everybody that I've served with, and you know, it just means a lot to me, the support that I've received from my fellow council members and planning commission members. So thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Oh,
Thanks, Jim.
and Courtney, best wishes to you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everyone, for those nice comments.
John,
Yes, Donna.
when I finished, I don't think I had a cutout on my computer, and I don't think that you heard me say anything to Courtney. You all had blank faces and nobody moved. So I think that that's what happened. But you know, Courtney, you're wonderful, and thank you for all that you've done for us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Donna.
Mhm.
Okay, we are down to non-arranged participation. Item N on the agenda, just above adjournment. Is there anyone in the audience or anybody else want to say anything before we conclude our meeting this evening? Ms. Jones?
Yes, I would. Thank you. I haven't had an opportunity to talk all this time. We've been doing Zoom and that's not why I wanted to be in here. But what I did want to say,
Carol, can we get your address, name, and record, please?
Oh, I'm sorry, 7545 3rd Street, in the basement, attending virtually, whatever you want to do. No, I would be I think very upset, and I think a lot of I'm assuming a lot of our members in the community would if we were to sell where Hotel Heckman is, because that was the an old building in the city. It was I had the word, but now I lost the word.
It was a post office and a library.
It was a post office, but before that, it was where you would you like, and where they had goods and services and things like that for the community and what. So I don't think we want to. I'm not happy in considering selling that property. I know they do a great job there, but I still think we need to retain it for the community.
Okay, thank you, Carol.
Thanks, Carol.
Justin, can you unmute Sanam, please?
Thank you, Sean. This is Sanam Arab, 6896 Wellington Drive, Dexter.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I just want to take a second and thank you, Courtney, for everything you have done for the community, for Arts and Culture Committee, and for the Paint Dexter Festival. We couldn't have done this without you and all the amazing help you did for the festival. And we look forward to you joining us as hopefully maybe a volunteer or just as a community member, enjoying the festival this time from the other side and having fun.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that and for joining us this evening. Justin, do you see any other hands up?
I do not.
Okay, I will seek a motion for adjournment, please.
You've got
Mr.
to,
Smith?
oh, yeah.
One last time, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Very good, Jim.
Okay, Scott,
I'll second that.
seconded by Mr. Bell. Thank you both. Ms. Jones, well, all those in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Have a great evening, everyone. Maybe you can
Thank
go for a
you.
walk or
Thank you.
open your
You
window
too.
and enjoy the fresh air.
Thank you.
Everyone.
See you all around
Good night.
town. Bye now.
Take
Good night,
care.
everyone.
Good night.